Hello, Bill Claudsey here, bringing you an hour of Devastation draft in the single elimination queue online, so try to make it 3 rounds here. We've got two great blue cards, Champion of Wits and Ominous Sphinx. Champion of Wits, 3 mana for the effect is not ridiculously bad. In fact, it's probably good, and the Eternalize just becomes too much card advantage to beat if you can get there. The Sphinx is also insane. 5 mana for a 4/4 flyer. Not even sure which one of these is better, but the Sphinx is a 5-drop, and it's a little harder to cast on the front side. So I'm going to try the Champion here. You also get less opportunity to play with these rares, and there are some discard advantages to the Champion. Then what? We've got one of the best removal spells, just Struggle to Survive, deal 8 damage to target creature. Sort of whatever size of creature they have at the time, this should be able to deal with because you're both playing lands, and that's kind of how that works. Yeah, let's go with that. A rare is missing, Ambuscade is being passed. Maybe we stay out of green a bit. Hazoret's Undying Fury. It just barely casts Struggle. That's kind of neat, and I guess you get to cast either side of it. Wait, Aftermath. Only from your graveyard, then exile it. So you can hit Struggle to Survive off of Hazoret's Fury. Not that that matters all that much, but it is a red card. It would be fun to try, and we can go ahead and take it here. It's also a spell for any prowess creatures we happen to pick up. Alright, I'm game. Let's see who we're dealing with here. We're passing to Linking, Bobber, Molinero, Recoil, Evil Tribble, Reason, and Fear Me, who's also passing directly to us. And the Tribble is taking some time, but they've got their second card here. The jury's out on whether or not Undying Fury is a good card in draft. It's probably decent. I mean, oftentimes it'll hit 1 or 2 cards and get mana advantage back or whatever. Fervent Paincaster, good sign that that's here because we're not seeing any blue. And if we give up Champion, at least we might not have to give up our 2 good red cards. So yeah, take that Paincaster. Notably passing Abandoned Sarcophagus, although we don't have anything that works with that yet. Torment of Scarabs, which we're seeing a little bit late, and just a couple random other things in random other colors. Leaved Chance. And a Sinuous Striker, okay. Quality 3-drop with Eternalize, that's kind of the theme so far, and we'll happily indulge it. And now we have 4 hits off the Undying Fury. Generally, you want to play a deck that is curving out at 6 anyway, so mostly things that cost 1 to 5. So it should play well enough, and then that's the majority of your deck. 17 lands, 22, 5 or less drops, and then 1 Undying Fury. Desert of the Mindful, Doomblade, or the blue version of it, and Thorned Moloch. That's a tough one because the Unquenchable Thirst really gets worse if you don't have any deserts. But it's also a sign that blue is kind of open. 6th pick desert's usually where you want to take it, but this is an Unquenchable Thirst. I think we have to go for that. Yeah, let's do it. Blue-red spells. Can we make that work? I mean, this isn't just instants and sorceries. This is prowess 1 damage. Any non-creature spell. So that includes things like Unquenchable Thirst and whatnot. It's our first 2-drop creature. It's the kind of thing you want to play with Cartouche of Knowledge. Get a 3/2 flyer into play with upside. Whenever you cast another spell, you draw another card. is what you want. Now, Granitic Titan doesn't work so well with the Fury. Defiant Kenra is not great either. I'm a little worried that blue is disappearing, even though we saw that late desert and late unquenchable thirst, so I'm really not sure about this pick. Should we take a black card? That's the real question. Or should we just take the Granitic Titan? Yeah, I'm going to go for the Kenra here, actually. Every card there had a chance that we don't run it main deck. And Kenra's the one that, if we want it main deck, we definitely want it main deck. We definitely need it, because 2-drops can be hard to find. Get that critical mass. And an even later desert, so happy to find this. Desert of the Fervent, it's in our color. I'll call that a bit lucky. So, here is another shot at a Granitic Titan. There's a 1-drop, which comes back as a 4/4, so a lot of power and toughness here, but a little expensive. And Traveler's Amulet, which is just perfect if we get enough reasons to play it, like Firebrand Archer, and could help out with a splash. So, not the easiest pick, but Traveler's Amulet's usually good for a slot in your deck. Harrier Naga, because it's foil. Seer, because it's blue. And maybe the Crook has some application, certainly more than a basic land. But I've yet to really try this. I mean, it punishes something like if you had no other way of dealing with a god besides killing it and it coming back, you could use the Crook to, because the new gods do die and then they come back to hand at the end of turn, so you have that window to exile them with this. Whoa! Alright, speaking of gods, we have the ultimate god Pharaoh here, who kills and awakens gods at a whim. And we're practically Grixis already. We've got blue-red, is it? Just, we even have the Traveler's Amulet to splash the black if we need it. And it's just an amazing card. So, sorry Hazoret's Undying Fury. We're going to play an 8-drop. And passing, not much. I mean, Vizier of the Anointed works with our 2 Embalmed dudes. Firebrand Archer would always be welcome. Even Gilded Ceradon, Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs, and Unquenchable Thirst. So, this is just a nice, strong pack. And we are happy to get what we get. Alright, what now? So, the worry here is that it's going to completely mess up what kind of mana we had. Now we'll take things like Torment of Venom and If Near Deadlands and never be able to use anything. So to try to avoid that, we can be a little more conservative about our picks. Like, at this point, we probably aren't intending to run the Undying Fury. We just want to play a deck as consistent as possible. The Deadlands is good. We don't have a ton of deserts yet, but it's always going to be fine. Manalith can go later. Torment of Venom is heavy black. And the fixing besides that is not great. I'm going to go with the Deadlands. Although that was a tough pick, given our God Pharaoh. So here, we can go Spellweaver Eternal. We are kind of a prowess-looking deck, and I like that over Ceradon and Archer and even Manalith, although I would like to pick up a Manalith later. One of those might wheel. Unsummon a second Sinuous Striker and Countervailing Winds. Given that we have the Spellweaver Eternal now, let's go with the Sinuous Striker. We'll be heavier blue, and we can cut this Defiant Kenra and just play the good red cards. Fraying Sanity. All the rares we might ever want. And Vile Manifestation, which cycles nicely. It gets bigger with some random stuff in the graveyard. And we are filling our graveyard a little bit with things like Sinuous Striker and Champion of Wits, which help us discard cards. So you never know. Besides that, I don't think we're a Fraying Sanity deck, unless we curse ourselves and try to win that way somehow. Yeah, let's go with the Vile Manifestation. Another Manolith, and this time we also have Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. It looks like people forgot about Nicol Bolas, and that didn't turn out well. Doomfall, pretty cool too. In fact, I'd be happy with Desert of the Glorified if we had much more stuff to do in black. But Wall is too consistent in a 3-color deck like this. We just have to get access to it. Alright, Torment is definitely going to be powerful in a deck like this. Just the worry is the mana again. And deserts are always welcome. They help out the Vile Manifestation. They kind of help with fixing because you just play it if you need that color, and it digs deeper if you don't need it. So what would we rather have, blue or black? I tend to err on the side of a color that you have more of. I'm not even completely sure about that. Because you definitely want to hit the blue on time, so if this is in your opening hands, it's an easier play to just play it out and cycle it later. Ruin Rat, or Razaketh's Right, or even Tragic Lesson. A lot of cards that can discard stuff. But it's not just discarding, it's searching. So we could go deeper and deeper for Nicol Bolas. And at this point we don't have enough black to be happy about running a 2-drop black card or a cycler for 1 black. So we can, ooh, another Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. I'll take that. Pass all the white, even if it's good and green. It's too bad we're seeing it so late because it means everyone else is trying to draft Grixis. How many people opened this guy? And what does he even do? So the 2+ abilities, starting at 7 loyalty, very hard to kill directly. You need something like Liliana's Defeat, 1 mana, black sorcery to destroy it. But you get to play with your opponent's deck or exile their hand, and those are both plus abilities. The -4 is 7 damage to anything, and -12, which can certainly happen, is exile all non-land permanents your opponents control. So any kind of curses you need to get rid of, or just creatures or whatever. So build up to that after a few turns. After stealing your opponent's cards, you just kill the rest. A little slow though. The immediate impact on the board is not so great. For 7 mana, you really want to be doing more than killing their best creature. For instance, Lay Claim doesn't just kill it, it steals it. And the original Nicol Bolas would steal creatures, and that was kind of huge. Here, you kind of gotta, if you want to plus loyalty, you kind of have to get lucky by hitting a good spell off your opponent's deck. Sanity's back and Moaning Wall. Sorry, Sanity. Well, I'm not going to play Moaning Wall. I'll take this just because it's a rare. Someone might try to build a constructed deck with it. Get that value. And anyway, about Nicol Bolas, yeah. So sometimes he's awkward to play, but the power level is there. Every single turn you're getting cards worth of abilities. Alright, what do we want to open? Maybe a 4-drop? Maybe some better fixing, or a powerful bomb like Archfiend of Ifnir. At least we got a few deserts. One more desert would have been ideal, like if we could have also gotten the desert of the... Oh shoot, what's the black one? No time for that now. Oh, this is a pretty powerful one. We get Rags to Riches, but we also get that beside Baleful Amit and Edifice of Authority, so really crazy cards here. And I'm just going to prioritize the one that other people want the most. It's not possible really to wheel Baleful Amit, but it might be possible to wheel Rags to Riches. And it's unclear that those are going to be any worse than Edifice, which is just a premium removal spell for their best thing. Helps the game go late. So yeah, that'll be that. And Evolving Wilds for our 3-color deck. Faith of the Devoted is a little expensive to use. Like if you want to get value off the discard from Sinuous Striker, you need 6 mana. Not the end of the world for Faith, but it's not super consistent. And the Wilds does make our deck consistent. Oh no, Sandworm Convergence? Yeah, unfortunately not for us. We also have Gate if someone was lucky enough to open God Pharaoh's Gift. But for us, we'll take the Splendid Agony. Unless there was some chance we could use Splendid or Sandworm Convergence, but I don't see it. I can't see that happening here with what we have so far. Yeah, we've got some good stuff. Striker, get back in line there. Another shot at a Faith, a Cancel, and a Wasteland Scorpion. So the 3-drop slot is stacked. We just don't have the chance to get a 4-drop. I like Wasteland Scorpion though, and it does double as an early cycler for things like Vile Manifestation, and absolutely wrecks any kind of ground-based aggression, even if it has hexproof or whatever. So that's a nice one to pick up here. Drakehaven's a good payoff. We have a lot of cards that can work with that. 6 so far, well 7, 8, including the deserts. That's got to be enough, right? Out of a pretty weak pack here, maybe we can wheel River Serpent or something. We'll try it. Now we need to pick up one of those scribes or whatever they are that loots whenever you play a non-creature spell, because we do have a lot of non-creature spells. Another Gate, which could help us loot itself. Tormenting Voice and Grave Digger. Now what does Grave Digger even do for this deck? It can get back a creature, but most of our creatures come back anyway. And Tormenting Voice. It's crazy to think of taking Tormenting Voice over Grave Digger, but shoot, most of our creatures don't have cycling. It'd be interesting to get 2 creatures back with cycling. Or 1 creature back with cycling with Gravedigger and then make another Drake. But Tormenting Voice just makes our deck a little more consistent. Kind of a weird one there. Minotaur, our first big 4-drop threat. Happy to get that. How's this deck shaping up? I'll count the Traveler's Amulet as a land, but we also have 3 kind of cycling lands. I'm not sure if you consider Evolving Wilds cycling, but kind of, it thins a bit. So 17 lands plus the amulet. That means we need a few more cards here. What can we expect? At this point, we still play Hezzeret's Undying Fury. With 1 card more expensive, it's no big deal. Hecamus Sentinels could work out. It's not going to be a Pursue Glory deck. Even Pitiless Vizier's not bad in this deck. Is that close? It's close. But we have plenty of 3-drop blue cards, and this kind of diversifies our lineup a bit. And it's got to be better, right? Because it costs 4. Survivor, look for a few more things that discard, like Seer. It's changes any card we might have into a Drake some of the time. And Painful Lesson. Well, we found enough cards to play. Maybe we just take Scarab Feast to attack some sideboards, or attack our opponent from the sideboard. Something like that. Floodwaters is not a hit off the Undying Fury, which we might not play. Just depends. Dune Beetle might be strong in some matches. Ruin Rat could get back in there too. Got a lot of options now that we're 3 colors. All the Faiths come back. I still don't love those. Probably just not run it. But that is it. That is the deck. Splendid Agony, right. We have the 1 card draw spell and Tragic Lesson. Should be enough. And a bunch of 3 drops to bridge the gap between that and Nicol Bolas. Pretty much how it's supposed to work, right? Alright, so we're staying away from Selesnya, and the rest of this looks good enough. Look at it by color. Alright, so this is 23. A little more red than black, especially considering that 2 black cards have cycling. So if they're stuck in our hand with no black sources, that's totally fine. We've got 10 blue, 6 red, and 5. 10, 6, 5. Traveler's Amulet fixes 1 of each. We definitely don't need green. 9, 5, 3 is a good place to start here. This Nicol Bolas only costs 1 black, unlike the original. So that's a good thing. And maybe 9 is plenty for blue, so we can cut an island for Evolving Wilds. That gives us effectively 10 blue, 7 red, and 5 black for all this crazy stuff. 5 black, is that enough? For, you could even call it 3 black cards. It really should be. I'm surprised we didn't get any of those manoliths coming back around. But sometimes people just want manoliths and you don't get any. Alright, here is the deck. Wish the God Pharaoh good luck. Round 1 versus Geralf Gerstad. And this hand is interesting. No red stuff, but we have a Desert to cycle and an Edifice to help us get there. I think we keep on the draw. And just maybe not play the desert right now. Yeah, drawing another color of land was great here. Blue would be better, because Drakehaven early means any cycler we get turns into some good stuff. But we get our blue anyway. So that's not bad. Drakehaven next turn, and then we start draking it up. And since we don't mind drawing blue, we have another untapped land to play. We can... Ooh, mouth. Just get that blue right now. Save on some mana. Gonna be playing catch up for a little bit. The other option there is just to play Wasteland Scorpion and hope to catch up that way. Wasteland Scorpion into Edifice. But we're not so far behind that we need to sort of save damage as much as possible yet. That time will come. Okay. Okay. Wow, a lot of True Heart duelists. So what to do now? We're interested in getting to a lot of mana. We could be taking 6 this next turn. I think we play this desert now, so we might have 5 or 6 mana next turn and go, well, 5 mana. Wasteland Scorpion? Try to block that hippo, if anything. The Floodwaters is a late answer to this hippo token, but right now we just really need to prevent damage as much as possible. And the little scorpion here could dissuade them from attacking with the hippo, and then we'll trade it with whatever the best thing we can trade it with is. Too slow on this Drakehaven when they have so many 2-drops. Unfortunate matchup here. Oh wow. Alright. We are at 1 max. Oh shoot, no, we're dead. Trial, still good. Alright, maybe get some more early stuff in there. Ruin Rat's good. Kind of makes sense against the stuff they have with the Embalm. But that is about it. Removal's still good. Floodwaters is still good. If we could ever get that far. Ruin Rat might even be better than the Vile Manifestation, but that's also kind of fine here. Tragic Lesson. That's too slow. Too slow. An expensive way to discard a card. Would you like to play first? Yes, and a good hand. Go turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Archer, turn 3 Striker, turn 4 Minotaur, and that should do some damage. That's if we draw blue naturally. I guess we have to take a turn off somewhere to draw the blue. Well, if anything here, we're discarding the mountain, so maybe we can do that next turn if we don't get the blue. Yeah. Oh, no. No, yeah, we can still discard something like that. Get an island. Play the island. Discarding Striker might be good because 3 mana 2/2 isn't going to do much against this board. We can get it back, and we do want to hit land drops. Could draw something even better. Like a bunch more land. Sure. Okay. I guess they would attack here, no reason not to. Ambuscade doesn't give us much of an option. Well, Champion of Wits is interesting. They might have a straight up answer to Emberhorn Minotaur, and our hand is so bad we kind of want something to do to get rid of our mountains. On the other hand, Emberhorn Minotaur is something they have to answer, and Champion of Wits is not. We could just play out another mountain there and be happy. Wow. I don't mind this trade, I think. Because if something like this keeps happening, we're in bad shape. And they might have another Cartouche hand. You never do know. Play the champion first. And discard some otherwise underused lands here. A lot of discard in this deck between the 2 Sinuous Strikers, the Tormenting Voice, the Shoot. Seer of the Last Tomorrow. And not to mention all the cycling. Well. Do we need this Seer? Or should we just get back a striker and discard it? Well, if we're going to do that, let us attack first. Prowess 2 on this is kind of excessive. I mean, it's a fragile 2-drop, but it's one that your opponent must answer. And the earlier they answer it, the better, because they're going to take that hit. Alright, let's get this guy back and discard Seer. Because Seer doesn't do a lot on its own. It's mostly a combo with Drakehaven in this deck. Alright. Not bad, not bad. I don't plan on casting Scorpion here. And I want the most blue up for the striker. So let's see what we can get. Maybe we'll draw another blue. Kind of. That seems worth it to me, play another striker here. Unless there's another way to discard. I don't see it right now. We've got threatening 12 damage next turn. Pretty good. Alright, game 3. One ambuscade was not enough to win the whole match. Alright, I mean, even Scarab Feast is pretty good in a situation like this. What to take out for it? Could take out the Seer. Cycles pretty well. But everything has its purpose here. And you rarely get a card of value out of the exile, unless you really get something big that you can't deal with, like a god, or like a rare embalmed creature. Otherwise, you're just trading with half a card. And if you're lucky, 2 halves of a card, and that kind of... that's good enough. On the draw, keep, we've been doing well with colors fixing, between the Evolving Wilds and the Traveler's Amulet. Not bad. Yeah, we don't need blue right away. But if we're gonna curve out Ruin Rat into Striker, we'd be better off playing Desert here. Assuming we're getting red with Evolving Wilds, which kind of makes sense. Take our pain here. The wall would have been just as good as the rat here, forcing them to exert. And doing 1 damage a turn. Yeah, I guess they'd exert here. Then what? A Prowler. Sure. So we can't attack into that yet. That gets more appealing when we can hold up Splendid Agony. Don't want to lose our Ruin Rat for free. Okay, Spring, not bad. So let's grab our mountain for the next big thing they play, we can maybe do some damage to it. Then what? Yeah, I'll use the agony here. Kind of weird. Oh, that's also weird that they're not blocking it. Never know what you're gonna see. I'd like to see some land. Giant monster here. Oh, just drawing two? It's still bad for us, but it's not a threat right now, so I guess that's good. Can't block that until we hold a mana up for the striker. It's a luxury we can't afford just yet. And that's exerted, so we don't need to worry too much about blocking. And we can't really pump either, so awkward game. Eventually we'll start overcoming them with the number of creatures we have. Even though they're only doing 1.5 a turn with this, they've still gotten us pretty low. After 2 hits. Or 4 hits of 1.5. 4 turns of attacks. Tapping down that guy, kind of cool. Don't know if we have a good way of unlocking it. Oh, yes we do. We can just pay 2 blue at any time we want. That was a funny thing to tap. We're never going to get enough mana to afford to do that, but that's no big deal. Alright, island. Perfect. Given the wall here, they still have to exert the stalwart, so let's just do this. Prowler. That afflicts, and then can't be sure what they have, but they did take the afflict damage, so that's good. And if they do have nothing, this is lethal to both their creatures. And if they want to kill Spellweaver Eternal or something in response, or save their Feral Prowler, that is totally fine. Alright, pass it back. Why do they want to save this thing? They think the Feral Prowler is better than a Gift of Strength in their hand? Maybe. Drake Haven, alright. If we draw land, it's almost better to go Seer into Drake Haven. Maybe that's not true. It's close, something to think about. I'm not even convinced we want to attack with Ruin Rat, but we have to get past the Prowler eventually, somehow, and they'll take it. Sure, let's go Drake Haven. We have a couple ways to discard next turn. Well, one. Alright. That's why they're not trading with Ruin Rat with the Prowler. They'd rather trade it with the Duelist. So we can get more value. Okay, so this will be a good turn. We can make a Drake and kill our Sinuous Striker, which will in turn make another Drake once we have 6 mana. Trial, wow. Do we care about that enough to kill the Duelist? It doesn't seem like a lot of damage. Yeah, let's let it happen. Doesn't seem like enough damage. But if there's more... Oh no! So now we should kill the Feral Prowler to stop them from getting way too much stuff to deal with. Unless they have one last trick in their hand. It's a shame to do that, but they really get too much value. And they still get in 4 here. Which I'd rather take than chump. I thought they only had 1 card left in hand, and then they cast a Gustwalker and have 1 card after that. Oh, with the Feral Prowler. Got it. It all makes sense. I want to cycle first in case we hit a land, but then we'll use the Thirst to keep Gustwalker tapped. They still don't want to block Ruin Rat, and I can't blame them. But chipping away at their life total to a turn. Didn't even need Nicol Bolas here. Anytime we draw it would be fine though. Alright. Can we win this turn? It looks like we forced them to... I keep forgetting about Striker, but I think we're doing the right stuff. We can force them to block, and that's pretty good. Exile it forever. And they have to win their next turn, so we don't need to do anything special here. Except remember Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. That's kind of special in itself. Whoa! Just showing off what they got. Alright. Cool. Round 2 versus Tridon. With this hand, awkward because we want to draw more cards to get better stuff, but we also need to set up a defense. We'll see what happens. Lands qualifies as better stuff here. Alright, so we can delay our choice here by playing a Desert of the Fervent. Definitely going to need the red. We don't have a ton of red in the deck. Kenra Eternal. That's not an easy one to block with the Manifestation. The Afflict makes 0-4s worse. Alright, good draw, good draw. Yeah. Trading a little down in mana. But that's totally fine to save some early damage. Lord of the Accursed. Should also kill that sooner rather than later, but maybe not this soon. Get our threat. Like right now, our threat's better than theirs. Unless we thought they'd really have a way to save it, but Oof. Alright. That's kind of the worst case for us, because we want to kill that thing anyway. Well, now we could kill it with our desert. Still, it's not too menacing right now, without any zombie friends. Green-black isn't really known for its zombie synergy. Of course, they could have God Pharaoh's gift or any kind of crazy nonsense. Floodwaters, Well. So Violent Manifestation could get up to like a 2-4. At some point in the future. We have a couple cyclers. At the same time, it's not very exciting. But it does block even if they play a creature. Ah, whatever. Let's play it. Now they've got 6 mana for hexproof creatures and 6 5s and 5 6s. Greater Sandworm, not to mention the ramp from Ronus Monument. 6, we can't even kill that Greater Sandworm. But we did prevent 3 damage here by playing the Manifestation. So, the plan might be to just bounce both of these guys. Tormenting Voice. Maybe later. That lets us attack for 5. Then they might play the Sandworm, and we draw land number 7, which lets us kill it right away. Come on, land? No, close. Kind of. Shoot. And that'll attack for 9. So what do we do? Tormenting Voice is so awkward here. We could use Tormenting Voice to discard Struggle, but that's our one answer here. We could use it to discard Nicol Bolas, but that's our win condition. What's our best route to victory here? I can't imagine it's getting rid of anything. And then we have the play of killing something with, or making this smaller with If Near Deadlands, which is also not appealing. Yeah. Too many cards that don't do anything here. Too many cards that we like too much but can't get rid of. If Tormenting Voice cost 0 mana, I would definitely discard Nicol Bolas there. Which might be reason enough to... Oh, this thing's going to be huge. 13 this turn, at least. And they still have a giant monster back. Okay. Got it. We'll take it to 6. Eternal, yeah, that's just terrible. We need to draw land, specifically mountain, and, well, I guess that's all we need. What is this person commentating on? Wow. Geez, we're so dead. We can chump this thing next turn. Oh, I guess they were figuring we wanted to chump there. We can chump later. Also, now we should just kill something. But, oh, yeah, we can't chump it because it gives trample. I knew there was a reason. Tell you what I don't like the look of, our mana base. Oh no, we still sacked the land, so we're still in the situation of like, we're probably dead, and we need to draw land. Well now, shoot, they don't have the green desert, but that's what it looks like now. What's a good, like, this thing was Ronus, or shoot, Hazaret's monument before the storm. Alright, you've got some giant... Oh, we are dead. Alright, let's concede this game before things get any more ridiculous. Alright, where's our frisky artifact removal? Just too confident in our ability to draw lands. We only have 17, a bunch of them cycle and whatnot. Oh well, Edifice is very good against Ronus Monument, unless they're playing flash creatures, which is a good thing to do if you have Ronus Monument and you find flash creatures. Yeah, I think we're generally okay here. Even the Manifestation can stick around. Gosh, yeah, it's got our colors. Yep, not much we could draw turn 2 that we really want to do. But eventually we'll get a Drake and draw a card. I don't want to end this tournament without playing Nicol Bolas, but it could happen. They've got a 1/1 zombie they're thinking about playing. They might save it for after the monument. They wonder if it'll actually get any damage in. It'd be worth playing here if they knew our hand. Yep. Okay. Alright. It's not too scary yet, but it's a little bit scary. It'll be hard to stumble on 3 mana because even if we don't draw the 4th land immediately, we have that extra draw with the Scorpion, and we're not giving up too much. More options here. Let's see. What land to play? Forest. Attack first? Or play Kenra Eternal first? Haven, yeah. Yep. Might as well. Then let's go for the Minotaur. Or even the Scorpion, but I want that for Drakehaven. Vizier is also pretty good against this, except... yeah. Yeah, let's actually do Vizier, because I want to trade with the Bone Slasher, or at least stop that from attacking as soon as possible. And it saves Scorpion, it's more mana efficient, assuming it lives here, but most kill spells would kill the Minotaur just as well as anything else. Right, so they're giving us the block, that's nice at least. And there's another artifact thing, Sunset Pyramid. We're hitting our land drops like a boss, and we can go ahead and play Minotaur. We're going to have to use Nicol Bolas to -4 on a Festering Mummy. That'll be the day. Soul Stinger. Alright. Now they're trading Festering Mummy with Emberhorn Minotaur. We'll still block the Kenra Eternal. And now we have to play out Scorpion to kill the Soul Stinger. Super awkward. The things we do to survive. Alright, Nicol Bolas. You're up next. Steal their Greater Sandworm. That's the thing. Sometimes the +2 on this is ridiculously powerful, but you never know what you're going to get. Like, sometimes it feels like bribery. +2 bribery. Gosh. Drakehaven is doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, that sucks. We're gonna draw land, watch. Or that. We could exile 2 cards, but I think we just need a a card. Shoot. Maybe we should have taken 3 there because of something like Tormenting Voice. Maybe we should have -7 forward on Soul Stinger. Yep. No trample yet, so we can prevent the damage. It's a pretty big guy. See what we can get first, because it might change our mind about what to do. That's not too bad. Okay, let's... Let's kill the Horde. I mean, we know we're getting value from that. And Unquenchable Thirst on this guy. Hopefully they don't untap it right away. Pretty conservative turn here. I'm not sure what those 2 cards in their hand are. Maybe it's a Sandworm. But then we're risking taking 3 or having to chump with Firebrand Archer, and we're at 8 life. So despite having Nicol Bolas in play, I'm not sure who's winning this game. If we were at 19 life and they were at 8, I'd say we are. Easily. It looks pretty good for us. If that's their best play here. Hard to get much more value than exiling 2 cards from their hand. But at this point, it could be lands and stuff. Yeah, let's do that. Each opponent. So, wow, in multiplayer, this guy's crazy. Guaranteed 2 for 1. And since they are stumbling on mana, what did we get? What do we get? Rampaging Hippo and Greater Sandworm. I'll take it. So those are cards we're not easily going to get from their deck. And they have something even better than that. Ritualist? It was either a land or a Ritualist. They figure if they keep land, then they can play stuff with the Pyramid next turn. Yep. Not worried about losing the Striker, especially we just get it back here. And what now? Try to steal something good again. Might depend on what we get. So, how does this work? Until end of turn, you can cast it without paying its mana cost. Oh, good. I'd rather keep a 2/1 than have a 4/4 Sinuous Striker. So we target the creature, put a -1/-1 counter here, and get in some damage. So I'm not sure they played that last turn optimally, unless they're worried about Nicol Bolas. Yeah, never mind. They are worried about getting stuck with cards in hand, so that was good because of Nicol Bolas. Things are looking up because now we have a superior board and Nicol Bolas, like a superior creature force. Because sometimes Nicol Bolas just doesn't affect the board. The only guarantee is with the -4. A well-built Planeswalker. I mean, it feels definitely powerful enough, but not an instant win. Marauding Bone Slasher. What is this, game 2? So we still need to win another one. Can't even block. Champion of Wits. Well, that's not the best. Just kill all their creatures while we can here. And then we'll be able to do that next turn to kill them. Can't imagine that not working. Champion of Wits. I guess we don't use this. It just gives them more information. But we do pump this a couple times. And swing 7. To be fair, it could put our second striker in there. Maybe doing it's correct, given what's in our deck. But if you're going to win either way, you might as well save the information. And really unlikely we need the extra Eternalize to win this. Yeah, so how could we lose here? Just forget that actually attacks a player. Well, period. Hard to beat Nicol Bolas. Right. Oh well. That's Nicol Bolas for you. 8 or 9 turns of him in play, and you do a little better than if he wasn't. Alright. Do we want to try Hazoret's Undying Fury? Still never resolved this in a draft. Despite going 3 rounds with it in my deck at one point. Never even had it in my hand. That's Nicol Bolas for you. I like Ruin Rat. I think it's probably better than average in this deck. Maybe Floodwaters is weak. It comes down a little late. I guess it can catch up from behind, especially if there's auras going around. We don't have to worry too much about that. It doesn't deal with the 7/7 worm, but it deals with some other stuff. Yeah, maybe Tragic Lesson can come out too. Put in Floodwaters. Alright, that's a good trade, sure. Switch it all around. I guess they're on the play. Be nice if they took the draw. Nice. Alright, this is a good hand. It's not our best hand. We'd rather play 1-drops and 2-drops and draw this stuff. But we've got insurance against getting screwed and flooded and all kinds of things. And it's going to keep getting better. Can't do anything but get better. Cycling floodwaters is just probably not as good as cracking the Traveler's Amulet. Since we don't need too many more lands to be functional, and we might cast the floodwaters later and all kinds of things. All kinds of reasons. And then once we get blue, the only thing we don't have is double black. Do we need double black for anything? Not really. But we do need double blue for something in our hand. I wonder if they'll have the ambuscade here, but Fervent Paincaster makes the most sense on this board. Actually, maybe it doesn't. But it does block their thing if it exerts. And they're looking for land or something, which we won't be able to punish with our slow start here. Or they just leave it back to block. Like if they attack in for 2, that's kind of the best option. We don't block, and then attack them. Sure, so there's no 1-mana trick that untaps that I know of. Oops, I almost clicked too many times. Edifice, get that started up here. Struggling for land, that's not going to be a good sign against Nicol Bolas, which will absolutely shred whatever cards they have left. That's pretty good against the Paincaster. So maybe we start tapping down the Festering Mummy. Or bricking it, rather. Obelisk Spider. Good timing on that one. Yeah, shoot, we'll trade here. That sucks. But I think that'd be kind of unavoidable. Just play this to make sure we hit our things we want to hit. And pass it back. Keep bricking the Stalwart. Can't imagine them attacking their 1/4 into our 2/2 Death Touch, but it would end up trading with it. Come on, 1 turn away. They must feel it too. Look at our mana. Lethal Sting. Ouch. Whose idea was this? So, I guess what I'm trying to do here is trade with the Stalwart. Because Obelisk Spider easily attacks into this. And we don't mind if our thing's in the graveyard. Nicol Bolas just going to get too much value out of this game. Come on, Nicol Bolas. Let's do it. Then what? Get it up to 8. That's pretty good. They exile 2 cards. Let's just keep doing that. Even though our board's not quite as good. Oh, are they sighing already? Sigh. If Wizards would only not print such giant multicolored bombs that are hard to beat. Apocalypse Demon. Sure, we're getting some good ones, and I imagine their hand's full of them. Most giant things they can play can be swept away by Nicol Bolas. Or Floodwaters, for that matter. Or some combination of Pitiless Vizier and other things. Yeah, I guess they attack first here. Edifice is huge right now. No more cards for them off the pyramid, just scries. Yeah, it's looking good. Good combination over here. Keep exiling until they have 1 card or less. What do they pick? Always tough. Alright, Ronus Monument and Sharpshooters. Well, the Monument doesn't do much for them here. So we've got Vizier. Keep the land for the Striker. And keep Floodwaters, although we don't really want to use Floodwaters now, since we can do a cool thing like bounce 2 creatures and make them discard with Nicol Bolas. Right, they're scrying to the bottom. Happily trade with the spider. It's not a zombie yet. Cartouche, oh wow. Would you look at that? Alright, let's let this happen. Let's let it happen. The thing is, they could play another spell here, and then Floodwaters just gets so good. Just scrying. And who do they go for? Everybody's pretty healthy, yeah, so they are playing something else, but they have no lands in the graveyard, so that's not perfect. So either us or them will take some hit here. If we wanted to get really greedy, we'd Tormenting Voice to try to hit a land by discarding a land. But this play is too good to risk. Get rid of those threats, please. Yeah, that was pretty good, wasn't it? Dot, dot, dot. They need to do this on their upkeep. If they're going to do it main, they might as well do it on upkeep before they draw. They do have Quarry Hauler, so, you know, there's no real reason to put another brick on here, but that is kind of a reason. Alright. Yeah, let's do it. Wait. Tormenting Voice is kind of, once you're done doing stuff, you can use Tormenting Voice, but we're not really done doing stuff. Let's discard a mountain here, play Deadlands, and whatever. Maybe they'll play a haste creature, activate Hostile Desert, and we want to brick that. So good luck. That's some nice skill you got going on there. Thanks. That's I don't know. Got a lot of skill on this side of the table, for sure. I agree. See what we can get. Try not to draw our whole deck. What else are we going there? Overcome. Perfect. Why did we pay blue for this red spell? I don't know. Seems ill-advised. Whatever. This guy's not too big, but he's fine. And that should do it. If they let Nicol Bolas untap, we're in good shape. Or he's not going to untap, but you know what I mean. -4, kill target opponent. And that should be good enough to get us to the finals. So Nicol Bolas really worth his weight in gold. And the deck is built to get there. Bam. Delivering the final blow. Alright, see you in the finals. Hello and welcome to the finals of a single elimination Hour of Devastation draft online, and we've got still an interesting hand. It could be right to play 18 lands in this deck. Not going to worry about that too much though. We have stuff to do early. We can discard Spellweaver Eternal maybe. But we could also delay that decision one turn, unless we really value getting out Paincaster. Like Wall does nothing here. Yeah, I think we Torment away Spellweaver, of all things. Cool. So that leads into our turn 3 and turn 4 plays, no matter what we draw. Hopefully that doesn't get countered. But with only one pack of Amonkhet, the Essence Scatters aren't as prevalent, aren't as common. Well, shuts down our offense. Or does it? Stay tuned. I think we offer the trade because that thing does ramp them. And they're not interested, so be it. And, you know, they knew with their hand, so maybe they have some 1 toughness things to protect. Surely they do. You know, I kind of want to play Tragic Lesson now. And if we don't find a better answer here, oh man, we can just discard the Wasteland Scorpion. Tell you what, let's discard Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. And pass it back. Yeah, I might have been right to attack there, then Unquenchable Thirst gets better. But the only thing I'm interested in here is surviving. And that's a fine trade. And still pressures them this next turn. No deserts yet, but Unquenchable Thirst still in hand. Huh. All the water that gets near your mouth turns into sand. Is that the story? And they'll trade this off. It's not a bad haul for a Pitiless Vizier. Get rid of an evasive threat without having to smash it with Nicol Bolas. Target Bolas Planeswalker. With pleasure. Alright. Let's see about that hand they have over there. As long as it doesn't have a counterspell. Nice. Can't beat the God Pharaoh. They're going to put in all their counter magic, though. You can bet on that. Scarab Feast, Ruin Rat. This is a blue-white deck, so if they don't have some more Embalm and stuff, be surprised. Also randomly makes Struggle good. We don't have any way of activating that, but yeah, it's not worth putting that in. Maybe if we had something like a desert that makes any color, or a Manolith, we could make it happen. Without Weakness gets a bit better. Drakehaven's been useless this whole tournament. There's got to be some things that are no good. Tragic Lesson actually isn't that good. Trying to look what we could do here. Seer of the Last Tomorrow. The thing is, we have to keep those together. Got to keep them together. Maybe cut Floodwaters. Yeah, let's cut Floodwaters. Or even with adding a couple cheap cycling things, we could take a land out, but that also looks bad because we want to be sure to have stuff to do. Game 2 of the finals. Minigame, resolve the God Pharaoh. Can we do it? They're on the play. Our hand is terrible. Mulligan. Much better. Keep, and we curve out here. Ooh, Edifice. Yes. That is worth it. That makes it all worth it. Hard to use early. Part of me wants to search, just play this, for blue, but I'm sure that'll come. Oh no. That's a scary guy. Zombie Naga Wizard. The Paincaster is good against it, but not great, because any spell they hold up saves it for a whole few turns. But it means they can't really tap out against it. Yeah, take 3. Drawing our first blue is going to be insane, so let's just do this before they can untap. And prevent the most damage here by getting Edifice out. Good deal. Have we stabilized? Kind of looks like it. They could unstabilize things easily by playing another threat, like a flyer of some sort. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not much for us to do. Pitiless Vizier, sure. And then it doesn't matter what we tap down. They're getting 3 in. But we should stop the Initiate from attacking, because then they have to attack with more creatures. Less back to block. blue off the top. Oh, wow. Okay. Seems like we're not doing so hot anymore. Finally get our blue. But now we have to keep the aerial guide from attacking. As long as that Sunmare doesn't get flying, we can possibly deal with it. Come on, work. Yeah, there's no way this works, right? Sweet, it worked. We're still at 8, but it worked. Blue. Okay, this seems like it's winnable. Unquenchable Thirst on... I guess the Initiate, but the aerial guide's a little scary too. Let's do the Initiate and then play out a Scorpion. And 1 mana left up for Edifice. A couple of reasons for that. One, we can kill the aerial guide with Deadlands. And Unquenchable Thirst just keeps this thing tapped in play so they don't embalm it. Really? This is creepy. What if they have another Crested Sunmare? No, I don't know what this is. Whatever. Does over 10% of our life. Farm, okay. Not much. I mean, if this thing isn't out there to block, then I don't know what it's doing. Champion of Wits doesn't look insane here. The best looking card is just Emberhorn Minotaur, despite wanting to play many blue spells while we can. Detain their aerial guide. Make sure to get in the full 3. Whoa, what is this? 6 mana. With Hour of Revelation, goodbye every card. Alright, 2 cards left for them. Definitely time for the Champion of Wits. Strictly better to tap the Deadlands there. We don't know what we're going to draw. But we do have this Scarab Feast, which is nuts right now. Discard. See how big the manifestation is? Not very big. It's a 1/4. You know, the Striker's not very good on its own. Let's get rid of Desert and Striker. And then exile Crested Sunmare, Aven Initiate, maybe not the Sunmare. Blue-white doesn't have great ways of getting it back. There's a couple annoying ones, but let's get rid of the things we know have value. The Embalm and the Aftermath. Oh, good. We'd get the blue. A little worried getting rid of that desert because the only thing we can do from our graveyard is eternalize this. In any case, get that blue back, because everything needs blue. Double black would be nice too. Cast this guy. A lot bigger now that we have a few things in our graveyard. And at this point, we just chump the Ret Crop Spearmaster with Champion of Wits. Play that again. Tempting to double block it here, but I just really want Champion to die. Ooh, Spellweaver Eternal. That's not good for us. Need more blockers. But that's exerted, so we have one turn where we can just block both. Take it down to 4. Ouch. And oh yeah, you better believe we're going to use this ability. Discarding Island and Drakehaven. Play land. Alright. Alright. Cool. Definitely need the swamp. Probably Ruin Rat is fine here. And we survive. Now what? We could discard something. Kind of want to kill one of these Eternals. Every turn while we can here. 3. We still have plenty of mana. And then play out Firebrand Archer. And that is enough for now. Ooh, that sucks. Because that is some consistent damage here. Although, you know, we can just smash all our 4/4s into this thing. Yeah. So we have an Eternal. We also could get this back, but let's get rid of the Reed Stalker. Yeah, sacrifice it to its own ability. Play Eternal. Archer. They're not at a super healthy life total, so maybe we're okay, but they do have this Sheffet Dunes, which is somewhat concerning. That was a good draw. Can we take one turn off? Not really. Let's try it though. Attack in with the Eternal, see if they bite with the Sentinels. Wonder if they have the Cycler. No, they don't have it. Just go Ruin Rat. Above all else, I want to hold up Struggle here. Winds of Rebuke on the Champion of Wits. Sure. Is it time for Sheffet Dunes? Pump all their stuff? Yeah, that's not going to do it. Wait, we should let them attack first. And then kill this. And the best thing to get rid of here is the Sunmare. Well, I'm not even sure, but let's get rid of that. I don't want to deal with that again. Striker comes back. Can't block this Reed Stalker anyway, so we just hope they don't have another way to pump it. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Please don't counter this, and if you do, you're still dead. Excellent. Nicol Bolas, finishing things up just like we know he should. And yeah, I mean, it's a little weird to build a deck around a Grixis colored mythic because you don't get the chance that often, but he is powerful, he's worth it. Good luck in your drafts.